Welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. My name is Artem, and here is the news. 199 days left the Russian invasion of Ukraine. President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky took part in the Yalta European Strategy Conference in Kyiv yesterday, reports Ukrainska Pravda. During his speech, Zelensky emphasized that currently no negotiations with Russia regarding the end of the war are possible, as the Russian side cannot formulate any adequate positions. He said that with Russia there is no confidence that they will keep their promises. According to the president, first, Russia needs to leave Ukraine and stop behaving like a terrorist, and then it will be possible to talk about diplomacy. Speaking at the same event, Defense Minister Alexei Reznikov said that back in March, Ukraine was ready to negotiate after Russian forces go back to the lines of before the full-scale invasion. But since then, a lot has changed, and now full deoccupation of Donbas and Crimea is needed. According to the European Pravda, these statements were the public response to the message brought by the US State Secretary Antony Blinken during his recent visit to Ukraine. Reportedly, Blinken passed the message from the US President Joe Biden that Ukraine needs to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. Ukrainian forces continue a successful counteroffensive in the Kharkiv region and began a counterattack in the Donetsk region as well. In his evening video address, President Volodymyr Zelensky informed that Ukrainian forces have already retaken from the enemy over 2,000 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory since September 1st. Quote, "These days the Russian army is showing its best, showing its back, and in the end it is a good choice for them to run away. There is and will be no place for the occupiers in Ukraine," unquote. The president stressed that if any of the Russian troops or security forces men are afraid to return to Russia now, Ukraine guarantees that everyone who is detained will be treated in accordance with the Geneva Conventions. The Ministry of Defense of Russia stated that they transferred troops from Balaklia and Izium in the Kharkiv region in the Donetsk direction, reports Radio Liberty. They claimed that it was done to achieve the goals of what they call a special operation and capture the Donetsk region. The ministry said that relocation was done orderly and with the cover of artillery and missile fire. This is the first reaction of the Russian officials to the situation in the Kharkiv region since the beginning of the Ukrainian counteroffensive and reports that Russian troops are leaving the area. The General Staff of Ukraine informed that Ukrainian forces entered the city of Kupiansk, Kharkiv region. The liberation of settlements of Kupiansk and Izium in Kharkiv region is ongoing, reports Unian. The first one is a key transport hub of the whole area, and the latter was the important Russian command center. Despite reports that Ukrainian troops have already liberated the city of Liman, Donetsk region, Zelensky said Liman is still waiting for the Ukrainian flag. A local mayor said to Suspilna that active fighting for the city is still ongoing. According to the General Staff, due to significant losses in manpower, the Russian invaders plan to carry out mobilization of the male population in the temporarily captured territories. Now, men are forbidden to leave settlements where they reside. In response to the successful actions of the armed forces of Ukraine, the Russian invaders are strengthening the administrative and police regime. On the occupied territory, entry and exit from populated areas is prohibited, and a curfew has been imposed. Ukrainian law enforcers arrested the chief of the occupation police of the city of Balaklia, Kharkiv region, reports Bukvy. According to the State Bureau of Investigations, the suspected traitor was arrested in the nearby city of Kupiansk, where he fled from Ukrainian forces. Prior to the full-scale Russian invasion, the suspect was working in the Ukrainian police, but agreed to work for the Russians. The Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant was forced to shut down the power unit number 6, reports Ukrainska Pravda. Preparations are underway for its cooling and transfer to a cold state. According to the Ukrainian state nuclear energy company Energoatom, for the past 3 days the 6th power unit has been working in island mode, feeding only the needs of the nuclear power plant at a critically low level. The situation emerged because all communication lines of the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant with the Ukrainian power system were damaged due to Russian shelling. Our Patreon supporters get access to a cool new series on wartime life in Ukraine. To join the club, follow the link in the description below. We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine. Thank you.